Hi everybody, this is Teaserking. Wanted just to touch base with you. I've been getting questions about my locks last year and the percentage. And as you know, if you followed me for the few years, I've been handicapping since 1977. I've been betting since I was 10 years old, which is 1969. I had the Chiefs over the Vikings in Super Bowl IV, I think was my first bet. Um, What I want to say is I've never had a complete losing season. I've always made money every year. I've had a few bad weeks. Let's see, before it was 14 weeks of pros, I probably had 3 bad weeks. A couple of weeks where it was kind of a break even or I won a little and then the rest I'd win, and I always had 2 or 3 huge weeks. So you can be assured that we're going to make money. I post all my results to prove it, to say, look, I'm not just posting my winners like a lot of handicappers do. Um, I have the numbers, so I do the science of the numbers, but it's the art of the pick. It's the art of knowing the talent of the players and seeing which players are winners and which ones are losers and who's good and who's the good coach and the good scheme and who beats who. And that's what I bring to the table over just the math and statistic handicapper. I'm a twofold handicapper. And once I see the team, this is why I don't lose for the whole year. Once I zero in on the team, this is what I'm starting. I'm looking at the draft. I look at Cincinnati. I go, wow, they got a shutdown corner. They got a good running back. They already had a playoff team. Look out. And that's what I'm seeing. And I see their stats versus the line is unbelievable. They're already like 85% the last 2 years. So they're strong. They're getting better. They lost in the playoffs, but that's okay. They're getting better. And then I look for them to, okay, you lose and now you start winning. Like, you got to lose to then start winning in the playoffs. So they win a game, then they lose. Now this year they'll get to the championship game. That's what I'm good at seeing. I'm good at spotting the team. I'm good at spotting their role, but I'm also good at the coach and the quarterback and looking at the general talent and matchup of the game. How are they going to do against a defensive team, like a Pittsburgh, like a Baltimore, like a St. Louis, Seattle, Frisco? Who does well against those teams and who does poor against those teams? Now Arizona beat Seattle. What does that tell me? In Seattle, how did they do it? Great defense. Seattle couldn't even move the ball at home. How else did they do it? They ran the ball and they had the short passing. They didn't let Sherman dominate because they were able to run the ball. That's how you beat these defensive teams. You must play the defense and you must run the ball and not turn it over. And Arizona did that in Seattle. Shows you how to beat Seattle. Frisco also did it there. They ran it down their throat. Kaepernick did some nice runs, and their defense. And basically, that's how you beat them. So that's what you know. So the only way Cincinnati can beat these teams is to run. They got the running back. They got the defense now with Denard and Isaiah Lewis. They got 2 starters in their secondary. So basically what you see is they're ready to take the next step with the draft. So that's what I give you, but I'm good at spotting the team. And I don't get emotional. I look at the game and I look at the team, and I can pick the Lions. I can bet against the Lions. I can take Dallas. I can take Frisco. I can take Miami. I can bet against them. I can bet against Seattle. I can bet, and that's really the key, is just looking at the game, lining it up, and it's all about the matchup, and that's the key, and that's what I'm very good at. And that's why I'm successful, and that's why I win all the time. Anyway, people have asked me about my lock results, and we made $41,000 on locks last year, lock picks. What was your average? Well, the 41,000 isn't impressive, which I don't know why it isn't. We're starting basically at scratch. I mean, I'm starting with a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, and I'm building and building and building till we got to 41,000. So, to be fair, I said, okay, let's look at the percentage. And I looked at the percentage. I made 46 lock picks last year. I won 40 and lost 6. 87%. They're all documented. They're all on the site. Please look them up. They're right there for you. If you followed me, you could see my results. If you bought the picks, you would see what I picked. I gave you locks right on the YouTube, so I'm doing it Thursday for Saturday, Sunday games. There's no tricks. This is what I do. 40 and 6 is 87% of my locks. So you could just bet my locks, you'd make a fortune. But I put the locks with other games. I put the lock teams, and I don't lock them. and other teams that maybe aren't locks, but you play the lock teams in more than one teaser, which was what my whole trip to Vegas and my whole Masters videos were about. Was you find that one team, you find Michigan State over Stanford, you lock it, you bet it 2, 3, 4 teams. Florida State over Auburn, New Orleans, New England over Buffalo at the end, Denver, over Oakland at the end. You find that lock, you jump on it, you bet it hard. So what that really means is, not only did I go 40-6, picking 46, but when you really look at it, it's 2 teams. Now, those are with the 2 teams, which means I actually went 86-6 in teaser picks. Because in the 40 I won, I picked both games right. That's 80 games. In the 6 I lost, I won the other half of them. So if you really want to look at the games I marked as locked, I was 86-6 picking the teams. Okay, go, if you can't make money with that, I don't know what you want. But that's exactly the point. And I told you, some weeks I don't have locks. So I'm not just putting it down there and just, somebody will buy the lock and and I'll just put down, Notre Dame because, and it loses. Well, it's my lock. I don't do that. I only want to make money for me and you, and that's all I try to do. And if you buy the week, you get the lock. So you don't need to buy the lock and the week. If for some reason you just want the lock, then just buy the lock. You can buy it for the season. I've reduced the price if you just want to buy the lock for the season, but you can buy it for each week. And some weeks I had, during the bowl season, during that last week of the NFL, when all the teams, I think I played 6, 7 locks. In the bowls, I know I had UCLA locked, Michigan State locked, Florida State locked, with whatever pro won. I locked the championship game. I locked the Super Bowl. So there's some, you can make some serious money. The way you bet should be a progressive way. As we start the season, you bet a little less. As we win, you start pounding it more and more. You start looking for the lock and playing it in 2, 3 teasers. Now, I know most of you are very smart people, and I know you pick your own games, and I get that. It's a very smart thing to do, so you understand it. But if I give you the lock, and it's, if I give you Florida State and a lock over North Carolina, I know I put it in 2, 3, 4 games, and I'm putting it for a lot more money than the regular games. So you got to be prudent on that and use your skill and your logic. But if I'm giving you the lock, it's something to put in more than one teaser. And yes, okay, I lost 6 games in the locks. We won 88. So of course you're going to have some losers, and but just be consistent with it. It's like playing pocket aces. You're going to lose with pocket aces sometimes. Somebody's going to hit trips. I did that tonight. I had some guy had pocket aces, and I played king 10, suited, and 2 10s flopped, and I busted his aces. It happens. It's not supposed to happen a lot, but it's not 100%, and nobody's going to go 100%. I'm not saying I do. I did 87%, which I'm very happy and proud of. But you've got to take advantage of that. So when I do give you the lock, it's gold, and it should be in 2, 3 teasers. And again, I'm going to lose some of them. So early on, maybe be careful with it. But as the season progresses, I've had strong locks week 1, especially in college. But just be prudent to play it positively. So if you buy the week, or you buy the month, or you buy the year, you're getting the lock automatically. Somebody asked me about the free plays. Well, the free plays I put on YouTube now. I should just put on the site, but I want everybody to see it, and and they can make money off of it. Not everybody has a big bankroll, and so if I can help people who are struggling, maybe unemployed, or been out of work and started back to work, and I can make them some extra money to help them out pay the bills, and that's great, and that's what I want to do, and that's why I post quite a few games on the YouTube, and if you look at them, you can see, read my comments, you can see everything that other people say, and they're all here. I mean, I can't lie. I mean, I'm giving you the game on Thursday, the game win. I gave you the Super Bowl a week before it happened, and you would have won money with it all over. So basically, obviously, we're very successful picking them. So, if you want, you can buy the locks. If you want to just buy the month, you want to buy the whole year, it's discounted. Whatever you want, and of course you can always contact me for my analysis on other games I don't pick. Um, but basically, when I give you the lock, it's a very strong play and one that should be played for more money and in more teasers. And so if I lock San Francisco and you've analyzed and you like let's say Denver that week, and I lock San Francisco with Seattle, and here you like Denver, then I would play Frisco with your Denver, or with your Dallas, or whatever team you like. Play Frisco with that, and play Frisco with the lock I give you. Play a 3-team teaser. If you can find 2 or 3 others, play a 5 or 6-team teaser. The odds aren't great, but they're you get odds on them. And really, I mean, I had the lock I had over Christmas when I was in Vegas. I hit an 11-team teaser, and it was basically 6 or 7 of them. I had the 3 college locks with 5 or 6 pro locks. Boom, I had that as a 7-team teaser, and then I found a few other strong games that I didn't lock that I could have locked, but I had so many locks, how many can you put? And they won. So you just got to be cognizant of the locks. But again, if you buy the week, you buy the month, you're getting the locks. If you just want to buy the locks, you can buy them separately, and that's what you get. And of course, you'd get the free pick that I put on here, which is usually 2 or 3 in college. So I'm putting a couple college, a couple pro games. So please take advantage of that, or just listen to what I say on some of the games, just to go from there, because I try to give insight. Like I said, of course I want to make money, but I'm trying to help, people out, and just, if I can help you, that's what I'm really here for. My football IQ, I think, is very, very strong. I've had people ask me about games, and the game won. I have a friend in Ohio, and Cincinnati they just won a big game, and then they went to Miami, and they were favored, and I took Miami, and my friend he couldn't believe it. He says, how in the world did you take Miami? Cincinnati's so strong. He says, Cincinnati was a road favorite, Miami's a good home dog, and Miami wins the game. He says, nobody can do what you do. He says, there's like 1% of people can do what you do. Do you understand that? And I go, of course I understand that. That's what I'm out here for, is to share my wisdom with you. And this is all about making you guys money. I make money on my bets. I've made money every year. I always make money because I understand the key variables, the key players, the key coaches, and I know when the coaches are bad and the players are bad. Tom Brady's a winner. Anytime you get him with points, you bet him. Tony Romo's a loser. Anytime he's favored, you bet against him. And you're going to make good money doing that. I know when to lay off of the Tony Romo, but mostly when they're favored, they never blow out, because Tony Romo's going to throw 2-3 interceptions in the game, because that's what he does. Matthew Stafford's going to throw 2-3 interceptions. You bet on Aaron Rodgers, you bet on Seattle, you bet on Jim Harbaugh. That's what you do, and that's the key to it. But you got to understand that. You got to understand that's the variable. So once you understand that, and now you look, Andrew Luck. Okay, I'm not, I'm going to bet against him in Denver, but if the game was in Indy, I'd probably pick him as a home dog. But this is revenge from last year. Denver will win the game, especially coming out. But you got Andrew Luck. Now RG3, I'm not sold on. That's why I say Blake Bortles, he's not going to do anything. I've seen his act 20 times. I've seen his act. I've seen Joe Montana in college. I knew he was going to be a good pro. Tom Brady was hidden by Drew Henson, but as soon as I saw Tom Brady a couple times, I knew he was good, and I know he's a winner, and he's not going to lose. You can see that. So that's what I'm looking for. Russell Wilson is going to win. Colin Kaepernick is okay. He's not that great of a thrower, but he runs, and he's not a Joe Montana, but he's very, very good. But the way Harbaugh coaches and the way their defense is, and Frank Gore, you can live without Kaepernick. He's the exception of not having that superstar quarterback. But that's what like Jacksonville, Bortles, forget it. Tennessee, Jake Locker, not a winner. I mean, you can say Minnesota, Ponders, terrible. I knew that. You watched my videos when Ponder was drafted. I said that. Kellen Moore, I know, is a winner. I know that kid's a winner. This is why I say it. And and I said the same thing with Chase Daniel from Missouri. And I knew Blaine Gabbert was a loser. I saw him in Missouri. He didn't do anything. If he doesn't do anything in Missouri, why do you think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback? He's not a winner. He didn't win at Missouri. Where's he going to be? A.J. McCarron, I think he's a good backup. He's not a superstar, but you don't know. They really haven't shown him that much. He did do some good passes at Alabama, but with that defense, he has some good receivers. So, the jury's out. I think he'll be a good quarterback. I don't know if he's a starter, but that's about it. But, the kid at LSU could be okay. I think Jordan Lynch from Northern Illinois is, somebody told me, I think the Bears picked him up as a running back, and that's a huge mistake. He's better than Jay Cutler. He will be if they would give him a chance. Again, it's the size issue, which makes no sense. Warren Moon, yeah, he couldn't play, and Drew Brees, he's too small. Joe Montana, he's too small. I mean, give me a break. It doesn't. That's the point. Size doesn't matter at quarterback. It doesn't matter with Danny Woodhead. He's too small. Oh, really? Okay. I guess he's too small catching all those passes. The other kid on New England, I can't think of his name. I mean, he's too small. Oh, really? Okay. Well, he catches 100 passes a year. The key is he gets open and he catches the ball. It doesn't matter how tall he is. This isn't a height competition. This isn't basketball. Anyway, that's what I do best, is spotting talent, seeing how it is, seeing if they're winners or losers, the coaches, the players, the scheme, and basically I just know I have a success because I watch the game so often. So anyway, if you want the locks, play the locks, buy the locks. All I can say is 86-6. So if you can go 86-6, you don't have to listen to me, and I won't be insulted. But I will pick a boatload of winners. So that's what I've been doing my whole life. Anyway, have a good weekend. I just wanted to say that, get that out. Questions or comments, let me know. I'm here to help. I'm here to make everybody money. That's all it is. That's what we're trying to do. So please feel free to contact me, email, leave comments, whatever you like. All right, have a great evening. August is just around the corner, and I'm already looking at week 1, so we're getting a jump on everything. All right, have a wonderful night. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching and comments and everything. Thank you very much.